the disabilities coordinator and the mental health coordinator for early Head Start, and GSRP. Today we're going to talk about that transition to kindergarten. And so we have, I'm just going to go on what it looks like in my screen. Tricia Nickerson is our family advocate manager. Alyssa Taskey is our Head Start teacher. She's out in Gwynn. Grace Hawkins is a Great Start Readiness teacher. She's out in Ishpeming. And it says Dawn Shedder, but it's really Sarah Shedder, and she's a kindergarten teacher at Sandy Knoll. So she'll talk about junior kindergarten and kindergarten. So kind of each district is kind of represented, and so we can kind of talk about what it looks like to move on from preschool to kindergarten or junior kindergarten. And it's very informal, so if you have any questions or anything, just please stop us and put your hand up, shout out. So we want to answer all of your questions.
Okay, do we want to start with Sarah, just kind of giving some information until they're comfortable asking questions? Yep. Perfect.
Sounds good. Hi, I'm Sarah Shedder. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. So I've taught both junior kindergarten and kindergarten. I taught junior kindergarten for a couple of years, and this is my third year in kindergarten. I also have two of my own children, one who did do junior kindergarten and one who went straight to kindergarten. So I have lots of experience as, I'm going to take my headphones off. And teacher, for if you have any questions specifically. And then, so I guess like the main difference between the junior kindergarten and kindergarten would be just kind of like the gift of time. So in junior kindergarten, the kids get more time to read in kindergarten as well, but the curriculum is a lot more rigorous in kindergarten. Like right now, for example, which we're in March, but right now we're writing complete sentences, or learning to write complete sentences, and then reading small books and stuff. So it goes a lot faster than like the kindergarten would have been, like when we think of when we were in kindergarten. We're doing adding and subtracting in math, and making partners of 10 and things like that. So I just, when you're thinking about where to go, if if your child's real eager to learn, and can, sit and listen, sit for like 5 to 10 minutes, things like that, kindergarten may be the right place. If they need a little more time to play and explore, and academically and socially, then junior kindergarten maybe. And Justin, I think I saw your hand raised. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, hi there. Hi. I was wondering in regards to like reading and literacy for kindergarten and compared to junior kindergarten. I mean, is that, or where should they exactly be with that? Are you guys going with over the fundamentals and bringing that together? Because I heard you said that's great. I mean, working on writing complete sentences, but of course to do that,
not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in both of them, we'll start out with like the overview of letters and sounds. So at the beginning of kindergarten, we'll be doing letters and sounds. In junior kindergarten, they'll get more time with that though. So they'll spend more of like, almost the whole year working on more letters and sounds, and then starting to put them together into smaller words. Whereas we spend a short time at the beginning of kindergarten doing that, and then we move on, and then it moves into making small words, and then it goes into making sentences and reading small words and reading sentences.
Sure.
So it's just the junior kindergarten does very similar things academically, but a lot slower. I shouldn't say a lot, but at a slower pace, so that it gives them more time if they're just quite not developmentally ready to do the other ones.
And Sarah, is Marquette still doing junior kindergarten in that 3 months, or are they focusing on it as developmental? So you could be 5.5 per se, and to go into junior kindergarten, or do they want the younger kids?
It just depends on how much interest there is and how many classes they will do. So like I like to recommend to parents, if you're on the fence, you can always check the interest in junior kindergarten, because then then you at least have the option to do it. Whereas like later in the year, like closer to the school year, it could be full, if that makes sense. And so you can always change your mind later on. Like say your child grew a lot over the summer, then you could be like, you know what, I think they're ready for kindergarten, and then switch to kindergarten. But if it's like at the beginning of the school year, you may not have the opportunity to switch from kindergarten back to JK because they only have open so many sections based on their interest. So Leah, to answer your question though, if there's room, of course they will take children who are older than that, like
3 months.
waiver range or that 3 months range, if there's room.
So then in some of the other districts, I know Gwyn looks at it as, they call it developmental kindergarten. So they do not base it on those 3 months. They base it on all of the children that are not quite ready or are too old to come back to Head Start or GSRP, go into the developmental kindergarten. So then there's always that option of going back. So we'll have Alyssa and Grace talk a little bit about what happens when they do ultimately stay back and why a child would stay back. And we'll do Head Start first. Head Start is our federally funded preschool. It's for 3 and 4-year-olds. And GSRP is the state funded preschool, and it's just for 4-year-olds. So, Alyssa, you want to give a little spiel on what you do for those older kids that could be in the waiver or kindergarten, or they have to be in the waiver months in order to be able to come back to us. But how do you individualize for those kiddos?
Sure. In our classrooms, we usually have split ages, which is nice. A lot of our older kids like to show the younger kids some stuff, what's going on. And then we get to do some good one-on-one time with our older kids. We use a few different curriculums. We use a Handwriting Without Tears curriculum, and that helps us work with our kiddos on letters, writing, recognition, all of those sort of things for the kiddos. Head Start is a lot of socialization, which is really great for our kids that are able to move on. So they just get to experience kiddos with a little bit more freedom. We follow a pretty structured routine, but they still have, the freedom. We can learn also at their level, so it does depend based on the year, based on the kiddos that are in our care, how we handle those types of things. And our class sizes can range from like 16 to 20. This year's a little bit different with COVID. But it's nice. We have at least 2 people in our classroom, so we're able to split up our groups a little bit and work with them in a lot of different areas.
Perfect. Do we want to go to Grace now, Leah? Leah's
Yep.
looking.
Sorry. So Grace is our Great Start readiness teacher. That's for 4-year-olds. And so she'll talk about what they do for the 4-year-olds for school readiness.
So Great Start Readiness is a lot similar to Head Start. So basically the same things that Alyssa said. I would say that if I had a student doing a repeat year or doing another year at GSRP, I would try to change up some of the things I do different times of the year. I would also work extra hard with getting that kid socially and emotionally ready, because I find that when those kids are socially and emotionally available, they can focus on more of the academic stuff, which is what we focus on with all the kids. But I would just put an extra focus on those kids who were doing another year. But other than, I think it was pretty much the same as Alyssa.
So one of the biggest things to think about when you're looking at kindergarten, junior kindergarten, or staying with Head Start or GSRP is where your child is with their independent skills. Are they potty trained? Are they able to zip their own coats, do their own snow pants, do their own boots? Because in kindergarten, there's a lot more kids in that classroom, and so they need to have those independent skills. Their social skills, if they are able to do interactive play with their peers, if they're able to calm themselves when they're having behaviors or be able to control their emotions a little bit more, and are at, just at that level of kindergarten, then of course kindergarten would be the ultimate choice. But if they're not with those skills, you really should think about, and it's not going to hinder them. My little one did 2 years of Head Start with ECSC for a speech delay with an IEP. And so he did half a day at Jacob Eddy, half a day at Sandy Knoll. Then actually Sarah was his junior kindergarten teacher, because we kept him back. So instead of moving him to kindergarten after 2 years of preschool, we put him in junior kindergarten with Sarah, and then he went to kindergarten. And he graduated his IEP by the end of first grade, and now he's advanced and at the top of his class for all of his academic skills and his leadership skills. He really utilized that second year of preschool for the leadership skills. And by the time he got to Sarah's class, he was a different child than the kid I brought to preschool. So he was actually starting and was ready for those fundamentals at a slower pace. And then when he got to kindergarten, it really clicked and he really did well. And he doesn't realize that he's a little bit older than the kids. And actually, he's right in the middle. The way it like works out, he has an October birthday. So he's not even like, he's not going to graduate when he's like 19 or 20 or something like that. So it's, but socially, emotionally, and academically, he did so much better. My oldest, there wasn't an option of junior kindergarten in Marquette at that time. When he went, I would have absolutely put him in because he was a young 5 when he went to kindergarten, and he's diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and it's still a struggle, and he's in middle school some days, but he's made huge gains. And we went to Sandy Knoll for almost all of his except for 5th grade, and we had amazing teachers and support. So it's also being very open and honest with your child's needs, with your Head Start teacher, your Great Start teacher, your junior kindergarten teacher, kindergarten teacher, because they can't individually.
Oh, did she freeze on us?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think she's just frozen on me. Okay.
No.
Well, do you, while she's frozen and she's mid-sentence, does anybody have any questions right now that Sarah, Grace, or Alyssa could answer for you?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if we answered, but like what she was going on. So what I'm most have my eyes in is my daughter is having, struggles with some speech. Other people outside of me, sometimes struggle to understand her. That's what her teacher, Lori has told her. But it's not just because of tiny words. She's not just making sound. It's people were struggle to understand her because she's trying to use 2-3 syllable words in context. She tells me about something that, because I can understand the word she's trying to say, she said this was difficult, or I prefer this, or different things. And it's, so I know that, just the aptitude is there, and I'm really, really hesitant. I want her to not be, bored with something. She has to be able to be understood, or else she'll get frustrated, so I don't know exactly how that works and all that stuff, but I think I'm sorry, I forgot exactly what
That's all right. How old is your child going to be, or is she 4 now? Oh, I think we're losing you now, Justin.
Sorry, hold on.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
1 second, guys. Sorry here. So she turns 5 on September 21st.
Okay, so
She would
your
be
child.
a late one if it was, because she is a late,
We keep on losing your volume. We can see your face, but not hear you.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
Is this any better? Okay.
Yep.
So
So being that you had the September birthday, you have multiple choices here. You can she can return to the program she's in right now. Is she in Head Start or GSRP? Do you know?
she's in Great Start at Brookton.
Okay, so she can return to our program in GSRP, or you can move forward with bringing her to the junior K program or kindergarten. But you have 3 choices because of that birthday, because she is after the September 1st date. That's
right. And I absolutely think that she's ready to continue, into her education, but it's me and her mother looking between either the junior kindergarten or regular kindergarten. It's just because I think that she would be ready for a lot of the other aspects of regular kindergarten. I guess I don't know. I'm just I have to see how her speech develops, with the socialization.
So Justin, to add on to that too, whether she does junior kindergarten or kindergarten, she could still get speech services. If
Okay.
she does either of those, that is offered through both. So if that is something that's a concern, you could put that on the registration too, because then they could get kind of on that process right away and start it a little bit sooner than we would be able to if we didn't know.
Okay.
But so whether she did junior kindergarten or kindergarten, she could do that. So, and with that age range, I mean, she could definitely, that would be around the age that a lot of the junior kindergarten students are. But again, I don't know your child. If you feel she's ready for kindergarten, that's of course something that you'll decide, of course.
Just, sorry, was she evaluated for speech?
So not formally, her GSRP.
Did you guys just start GSRP? I think I've been emailing. Is
Yes,
this
ma'am.
family?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
We just started in the first.
Okay, I've been trying to connect with you to start an evaluation through MAPS, so
Okay.
that we can get her evaluated and get her set. So, I'll put my number in the chat box. If you want to give me a call tomorrow, then we can set that up.
Okay, great. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
because
that.
that
Yeah.
would be something, like I said, then it could start sooner if need be, which is,
Yeah.
you know, wonderful. Cause then that would give her, you know, the strength going in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
Leah
she
would be a
was,
good
so then those would carry on into kindergarten or junior kindergarten. So MAPS does the evaluation, and then they write the IEP. We would sit down together, and she would have speech. And then, like when Riley did it, he did a half day there and a half day with Head Start. But in GSRP, we can't do that because of Michigan State funding. But you can get ancillary service for the rest of this year. And then right when she goes to junior kindergarten, it doesn't take a break. You
It
go right into
continues. It's just ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's ready. And it's for 1 year. So then you would meet again with those teachers and the caseworker, whoever has her IEP, which is probably Jen Bleckner over there. So.
Okay. Yeah, I needed one myself at that age. Or speech therapy to develop some of the consonants and sounds. So like I said, it's not, I mean, the context of what she's saying is, I'd say, above average for her age, but just understanding it, that's the whole thing.
Yep. So so we'll definitely get on that one so we can get her evaluated and hopefully get started before. And then they have some summer programs at Northern and stuff too that could really, like Sarah said, you may see a different child at the end of summer. So, but just have interest in that thing.
So I was gonna say, if you're still debating, I would just check the interest in JK, and that doesn't mean that you for sure have to do that, because we can easier change from JK to K than we can from kindergarten and go back to JK. If that does that make sense?
Sure,
Yeah.
it's easier
not
to
have interest. MAPS isn't going to have it. So or any.
And the JK is wonderful. Like Leah said, her son did it. My son did it as well. He was also a September birthday. He was a September 4th birthday. So he was 5 for junior kindergarten, and then turned 6 like his second day of kindergarten. But like Leah was saying too, like he was like strong and confident then in kindergarten, and it just kind of gives them that little extra, and
and that's why I want her to be, because I mean, frankly, this first 2 weeks, this has been her introduction into a classroom. She never went to daycare or anything. She's an only child, I mean, he's in a pod, so socialization is good, but she isn't shy by any means, doesn't have a problem with that. So I don't know, I guess I will look a little more at junior kindergarten. I'm still in the meeting, 1 second, please. But I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right.
No, that's okay. Justin, there's also a video on our registration page. And so that 2 of the teachers, a kindergarten and a JK teacher, made a video. So that may answer some of your questions too. And I apologize, my son's peeking.
Oh, yeah.
But and we actually have that video. Is there a way to drop that video in the chat box too? Or
I don't know. What I couldn't get to load though was the junior kindergarten versus kindergarten page that I would normally hand out, but it is part of our packets. So there'll be more information in the packet that gives more details about both of the programs as well.
Okay.
And I did find the video, I have it, but I don't want to, because I'd have to go on and screen share it. But it's under Marquette Area Public Schools YouTube page. And it is a great article. And it has 2 teachers from Marquette talking about junior K and K and what they're expecting. So if you could go to their website, I think it would be on the front there because that's where it popped up.
Which website?
The Marquette Area Public Schools.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
made a YouTube video. So it's a really nice video breaking down the 2 also.
Okay. Great.
So are the other families on here, are you guys all from Marquette or are you from other districts? Do you have any questions?
I live smack dab in Marquette. Yeah.
Other.
And I do have Marquette's screening is coming up. Well, it's this week, March 8th to 12th. So if you have not called the public schools yet to set that up for Marquette, I would give them a call right away. Also, Nice was today, but if you are from the west end of Aspen Ridge District, they could still get you in. You just have to call. And then we have Ishpeming's coming up in April 13th, 14th, and 15th. Elger County, if any of you are from Elger County, is April 14th and 15th. And then Negauni's, that one is past, but well, I think that one's coming up. Did I mess that one up? And well, I'll have to look it up. I have March 2nd, but I don't think it was last week.
I think Nagani says it's open as of
Yeah.
now. You can just schedule an appointment.
Yeah, and ours is online registration right now through the 12th. So you just click on a link on there to register, and then they'll get more information from the secretaries.
Perfect.
And also, so with Marquette's though, thinking about it, so actually with all districts, where depending where you are, if your child is in those 3 months and you aren't sure what to do, we are hosting in-person preschool screenings this year. We use the same dial assessment that everybody does for kindergarten screenings, except for Marquette hasn't done a kindergarten screening, so we're still trying to fight to get that one back. But it is the same exact assessment. We all use the dial for. So if you really wanted to see what the screener would be, you could register for the preschool screening and take that information into consideration for choosing to stay in Head Start, GSRP, junior kindergarten, or kindergarten. And that MAPS is there, the speech therapist is there, everybody's there, and somebody always talks to you after. And then Gwynn's is in May, Negauni's is in April, and then Marquette is May, Ishpeming's May, and Nice is May. So those flyers will start going around town and in backpacks and stuff like that. So if you really, and then your teachers from Head Start and Great Start will have your core reports and another parent-teacher conference to talk about how they feel your child, is doing, and if they should go to kindergarten or junior kindergarten or Head Start or Great Start again.
Cool.
So a lot of information coming from a lot of different people.
That's been helpful, everyone. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, Sarah, Alyssa, or Grace, any last thinking points that you have thought of that you want to let them know before we let them all go?
Just one question, like if they did want to do like a repeat of Head Start or GSRP, are they automatically enrolled?
So we
Or do they
automatically, yep, so we would automatically take your child back, but we do have to verify income again, even though we're going to take you back into our program. So you would want to connect with your family advocate and let them know that you're interested in coming back, or even if you might be interested in coming back, and get that application done again. So they would need your 2020 either the W-2s or 1040, whatever you have ready right now. And you can change your mind. Just because you say yes right now, you can be like, oh, it's August, I'm changing my mind. My child has made great gains over the summer and I want to send my child to kindergarten. That's completely fine. We just take them off our list. Well,
Great.
thank you for joining us, and thank you for our speakers and our parents for joining Leah and I. If you have any questions, just reach out to one of us or your advocate or your teachers. We'd be willing to help you out.